and welcome back to Momestly Me. On today's video, Melinda and I are going to be sharing our top 5 favorite books that we read to our littles so far. Yeah. So I'm just going to start with my first book. So I read a lot of Dr. Seuss books growing up. I'm sure that's pretty common in a lot of families. So when I got back from maternity leave, I had a coworker that had asked me if I'd ever heard of the book called My Many Colored Days. And I had not. So it is a Dr. Seuss book with paintings by Steve Johnson and Lou Fanchier. But essentially, the reason that this is my first one that I'm picking for my favorites is because this is a introduction to emotions for children through the use of colors. So as you go through the book, we're not going to read them, but as you go through the book, it just talks about like how each color makes a person feel or how it could make a person feel. And it just goes through what pink feels like for this person and yellow feels like and all these different things and the bad and the good and the in-between. And then the very, very end of it says, but it all turns out all right, you see, and I go back to being me. And I love this so much because it's so different and nowhere near as obscure as a lot of the really fun Dr. Seuss books are. And we read a lot of them. I love Horton the Who, or Horton Hears the Who, and what's the other one? Horton Hatches the Egg. But this book is so different, and from most kids' books that at least I've owned so far for Oliver. But and he likes it. It's got, you know, really bright colors and stuff in it. But it's got a really
the picture at the end.
Oh yeah. So the picture at the end is all of the colors.
It's neat.
So it's basically this understanding that like you may have red days or brown days or black days, but all of those days are okay. It's okay to be all of those different colors because, you know, from day to day, week to week, you always go back to being you. And it's like, it's a very, really good introduction, in my opinion, to emotions and what that can feel like. Comparing it to colors makes it, I would say, significantly easier to understand from a child's perspective. So I plan on sharing this one with Oliver a lot throughout, you know, as he develops and grows and gets bigger and stuff. So that is my number 1, My Many Colored Days by Dr. Seuss. And then my second favorite is called My Mommy Hung the Moon. If you've not heard of this book, it is written by Jamie Lee Curtis. Yes, the actress. She actually has quite a few children's books. I think they're all in the back, yeah, so there's quite a few. This one is one of the sweetest, though. This is a story of a little boy telling you that his mom created everything. She put the stars in the sky. She hung the moon. She put all of the rocket ships in space, and she made music, and she makes every piece of food from scratch that she grows herself, and she decorated all of the animals. And like I think one of the lines is she striped the tigers and growled the bears. Like, and it's really cute. It starts out, it's my mommy hung the moon.
A love story.
A love story. Yeah, that's the name of it. My Mommy Hung the Moon, a love story. But it's really cute. And it starts, my mommy hung the moon. She tied it with string. My mommy's good at everything. And it's one of those really cute books that circles back and it ends with the same line, you know, my mommy hung the moon. But as you get to the very end of it, there is this really fantastic picture of this exhausted mom from where she has been playing and going crazy with her kid all day. And it doesn't say for sure, but I kind of get the notion that she's a single mom. So when you're looking at all these pictures and this great artwork and you're reading this story, and then you get to the part where the mom's by herself and she's done everything that she can for her child and she is just worn out, but he thinks the world of her. And that was like just a really good one. I mean, I have a little boy, so like this one was just like, ugh, to me. But that's a really good one. So My Mommy Hung the Moon. That was my second. My third book is Elephants Can't Fly. I have no idea who it's by. Charlotte Christie and C. Biscoe. So this book actually comes with a stuffed elephant that looks just like the one in the picture, which is really cute. Her name is Ellie. But so Elephants Can't Fly is one of my favorites because it is a story about a little elephant who tries to do things that everyone around her, including her family, tells her that she can't do. It talks about how elephants can't jump, they can't fly, they can't sing. And at the end of the book, it basically says that, you know, she did it anyway. It didn't matter that they said that she couldn't. So at the very end of it, it says, so if someone tries to tell you what elephants can't do, remember Ellie's an elephant who jumped so high she flew. And I like this one. It is. I like this one a lot because it's kind of this this message of like you can do whatever you want to do. I know some people have mixed opinions on telling kids that they should be more grounded, but a lot of times people put limitations on other people just because they don't think it's possible or they think that it's a pipe dream or whatever the case may be. And I think that this just kind of says, you know, even if the people who are supposed to be on your side aren't on your side, you can still do things you want to do and not to let that discourage you. So this is a really cute book. And Oliver really likes this one too. Sometimes I can get him to hold the elephant while we read, which is just like so cute, but not always. So, but this is one of the few that he doesn't try to steal from me when I read it. So that's my number 3. So I technically have 2 for number 4, but I just brought, because they're kind of similar in context, but I couldn't find the other one. So I brought the main one, which is How Dinosaurs Say I Love You. So this is a series of books by Jane Yolen and Mark Teague. I think is how you say that last name. And it's how do dinosaurs love their dogs? How do dinosaurs learn their colors? How do dinosaurs say happy birthday? And they are really, really cute. And they all start out from this perspective that the dinosaurs, as big and giant as they are toddlers or small kids. And they act, you know, a little wild or crazy in the beginning of the story. And then when you get like halfway through, it says, no, dinosaurs don't do that. But this one in particular goes through some of the things that we all experience with kids where they just have bad days. But then they do things that remind us of who they are and what they mean to us. So, you know, there's examples in this one where you kicked the back of my seat the whole way to the grocery store and you wouldn't follow me inside like you were supposed to, but then you held my hand through the grocery store. And, you know, and it's really, really cute. So at the very end of it is, oh, and it has all the names of the dinosaurs on all the pictures, which is adorable.
It is really cute.
And so there was like at the very, very end is like, I'm trying to remember. Oh, right. So dinner, it talks about like making a mess at dinner. And the pictures with these dinosaurs are so cute.
So cute.
But anyway, in the end of it, it says, but when you smile sweetly and hold back your roar, when you kiss me and hug me once, twice, even more, that's when you give love, and I know this is true because that's how a dinosaur says I love you. I have never read this book all the way through without crying. Never.
I mean,
and my son looks at me like I'm insane, but it is such a sweet book, and it's one of those books that reminds us that they're little people that don't know how to be people. They have to learn how to handle their emotions, how to process every situation as it comes at them. And they don't adapt as quickly as we do. And they have bad days. And bad days, we can do things like drink some wine or take a bath or scream in a car or, you know, we have all of these options. And they don't know how to process any of those things. And so this is definitely one of my favorites. I read this one to him all the time. And then the other one that's very similar to this, and I apologize, I don't know the author, but it's I'm a Monster Today. And it's the same concept. They're both kind of along the same lines of, you know, that they're terrors sometimes and there are really, really hard days, but that's not who they really are. They're just learning, and sometimes they just have bad days they don't know how to process. So how do dinosaurs say I love you? And I'm a Monster Today. Those are my number 4s. And then my 5th book, am I holding it the right way? My 5th book
is my number 1 book.
And they look different because my little boy pulled the front of it off and ripped a page.
There's more than 1 page. But that's okay. It's called The Wonderful Things You Will Be.
Yep. And it goes from
it's
little babies to when they're bigger. When you were too small to tell me hello, I knew you were someone I wanted to know.
Yes.
And it just goes through and talks about all these different possibilities of how the child can grow up. And I think one of my favorite parts is the part about a veterinarian. Basically, I think where he's like taking care of
It's this one right here.
Oh, yeah. It says, will you learn how to fly to find the best view or take care of things much smaller than you?
It's so cute.
But it goes through all these different things that are possibilities.
Yep.
And then, yeah, it's so cute. And then the very end of it, you want to read it? I'll let you.
Yeah. The very end of it says, and then I'll look at you and you'll look at me and I'll love you, whoever you've grown up to be. And it has, I'm not tearing up or anything, but it just has like the cute little family picture. But one of my favorite parts is actually this. All these are all the characters, not characters, but these are all of the kids of what they could be, what we imagine them to be, or what they dress up as. It's so cute. I love
It's
this
really
one.
cute. And I actually, and I think for me, we grew up in slightly different times in society, so there wasn't who your kid grew up to be. You had a pretty set standard, and if that isn't it, then they get disowned or there are these disappointments. And I like this book because it's this new take of like, it doesn't matter.
No.
As long as you're not hurting yourself or other people, like
As long as you are a
yeah.
good human being.
Yep.
And you're doing whatever makes you happy. And one of the other things I really love about this book is whenever it's in the living room here or at Angel's, they will sit down next to each other and look at it together. It's so cute. I was reading it to them one night, and I don't think I made it very far. But that's okay because Oliver got distracted with something else, and she looked at me like I was weird, and I just closed the book and I was like, okay, bye. Oh, it's good times.
Yep.
It is good times. But so yeah, that was my number one. And then my number two, because we're just gonna skip over to me, is called What Do You Do with an Idea? And it is by Kobe Yamada. It's a really pretty book. So the reason I like this book so much is because it encourages children to do things. So in the beginning, I think it's a little girl. It's a little boy. Maybe it's a little boy. Little boy. But he encounters this idea, and he's didn't know what to do with it. He didn't know what to think of it. If this is probably just nothing. And then it keeps following him, and it's really cute. This is the beginning. The illustrations are just
that's adorable.
Yeah. So the idea is gold, and the rest of it is black and white, except for the little leaves. And then he goes through and he tells people about the idea, and they think it's stupid. So he hides it and stores it away until he's bigger. And then, and then this is my favorite part. I don't know how to describe it, but it went from being here to being everywhere. It wasn't just a part of me anymore. It was now a part of everything. These little birds, hopefully you can see them. That's the idea. It hatched from the gold egg in the previous pages. It hatched from that into all of these little ideas just going into the world. And that's like, I love that so much.
That's cute.
What do you do with an idea? Love that one. And then my number 3 is I Wish You More by Amy Krauss Rosenthal and Tom Lichtenheld. So sorry for butchering some of these names. And on the back it says, what will you wish for?
That's a really cute book.
I love this book. It's simple, but it's
uplifting.
Yes, it is. It's very uplifting. It's very like when you have a child, you want what's best for them. You want the world for them. You know, I wish you more ups than downs. And the kids are flying kites. You know, I wish you, oh, what's my favorite one? My favorite one is snow.
You're
That-
close, I think.
There it
Yep.
is. I wish you more snowflakes than tongue. It seems so silly, but it is. You know, when you're a child, it's innocent. You stand out in the snow and and you know,
Yep.
try to catch the snowflakes on your tongue, and of course you can't because they melt unless you're in a blizzard, maybe. But you know, then you have people who just stick their tongues out at you and you know don't want good things for you. So I love this. I wish you more everything, basically.
We actually just got that one not that long ago, and it is really cute.
It is really cute. The last part of it says, I wish all of this for you because you are everything I could wish for. And more. And it just has those little, what are they, dandelions? You
Yeah,
blow your wishes into the world.
that's really cute.
Yep. Okay. These last two are emotional books. And this one book, my number 4, is probably a very emotional book for most people who have ever read it. It's especially for my husband. It is his favorite book. And I haven't read it to Aria yet because I'm crying thinking about it right now. So I hope, dang it, I hope that I will be able to get through it, or one of us will be able to get through it soon because I love it. And it is The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. And I feel like everybody knows this book. I remember reading it in elementary school. It was on my reading list. You get, you know, points for reading books and stuff, and it's just so
I'm sure it's
good.
It means a lot more now, though.
It does.
Yeah.
You know, back then when you're a child reading this book, you're like, "Oh man, that's so cool. That tree talks." And that tree gives this little boy things, and you know, it's there for him. But it doesn't, the end of it, you're like, "Oh, all right." But as an adult, and you think about like this tree gave its whole life to this little boy because she loved him so much. And he loved the tree too. But it was there for every milestone of his life. And it's just, it's awesome. And at the end, when it says, it's kind of long, but I'm going to read it because it's the best part. The boy comes back after he's lived his whole life, had children, got married, you know, all that, maybe in that order. And he comes back and he's old. And the tree is just a stump. Okay? And he says, I don't need very much now, said the boy. Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I am very tired. Well, said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could. Well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down. Sit down and rest. And the boy did. And the tree was happy. The end. Because right before that, the tree talks about all the things that it doesn't have anymore. But it still has everything that the boy needs. And that's awesome. And I love that book. And it may mean different things to different people. But I love that one a lot. And my last one, I have read to Aria a lot. It was the first book I read to her, actually. Okay. I could do without the emotions after having a baby. It was so nice when I was pregnant and I didn't cry at all. Legit. Didn't cry.
I used to be hard. Then I had a baby and now I'm
Apparently I went through that stage while I was pregnant.
mushy.
This was actually, I sing in a chorus, so music is a big part of our life. And this book was given to me by a lady in my chorus. She has 5 kids. But it's called On the Night You Were Born. and it is by Nancy Tillman. And the whole book is about how the world found out that the baby was born. And I don't even know if I can read any of it. But when they it's a picture of a baby in a bassinet. And it talks about the night wind whispered, life will never be the same. And you go through the whole book, and the world just sings because you were born. And it's really beautiful. And it doesn't really matter if you're like religious or not. I mean, some books have, you know, touches of heaven or God or whatever. But this one, it can be the stars. It's just the heavens, you know, the sky above. Heaven blew every trumpet and played every horn on the wonderful, marvelous night you were born. And it just has these beautiful illustrations throughout the whole book. And I think it's so meaningful to me because, I don't know, we waited so long for her. I wasn't planning on getting this emotional.
Which is a good segue into our bonus book.
It is. We do have a bonus book.
I'm going to save Melinda. I actually was given, and this is just kind of a book that we've both read. I shared with Melinda, and it means different things for both of us. But I was actually given this book. We asked for books for my baby shower instead of cards, and then people wrote notes in them. I don't think they wrote a note in this one. They didn't. There isn't really anywhere to write it. But the name of the book is called Wish by Matthew Cordell, and the beginning of it says, family begins with a wish. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's got a mama elephant and a daddy elephant, or two daddy elephants or two mommy elephants, and they're throwing confetti, and in the middle of the confetti is a baby. And I am not going to read that much from this book because this book messes both of us up. And if YouTube would let me, I would have said the F word instead of misses. So, but the thing is, you know, at the time that I got pregnant, we had only been trying for 5 months. And yes, for me, it felt like an eternity. I went through that whole, every negative test was the worst thing ever. But for people, for women, for families that have to try substantially longer, like Melinda, it means something even more than that. But the way that it starts is really cute. It's got the two elephants in front of their little house, and it says, at first there is us, there is only us. But even then, even before we can know it, we wish you were here. And so, and it goes on to talk about all the things that they plan, and they try to just live their life, but they always have that thing in the back of their mind that this is something that they really want. Until one day we are ready for change, ready for surprise, and it's got them on the beach. Ready for you, we wish you were here. And it's got the baby far away on a boat with a trail of confetti. And then it talks about that they make plans, they live, you know, they're moving forward, they're getting ready. And then we wait, we listen, so quiet, so patient, so still, and we wait. But you never come, and everything stops. And it's got them on a boat really sad. So this is not what we planned. We wish you were here. And time passes, and they just kind of live their life, and they just have this thing in the back of their mind, and they're still making plans, and they're still trying to move forward.
You said you weren't going to read this.
I said I wasn't going to read all of it. I forgot how short it is.
It's a lot of really wonderful illustrations.
And then this is the part that I think is relatable no matter what your journey to motherhood looks like.
Yes.
And one day, from out of the blue, there is a sound. We listen, we hold on, we stay still. And that sound becomes a rumble, becomes a rhythm, becomes a roar when the
Mhm.
baby shows up on the shore.
It's like a storm coming to the shore.
Mm-hmm. And with every feeling that was ever felt, everything happens. That everything is you, that everything is us. You are here. You are here. You are here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this book, as simple and cute as it is, I just felt like when I read it for the very first time, even after only trying for 5 months, like this book it meant so much to me. And because that is what it felt like. It was like you kept waiting to hear that sound and you never heard it, and it was just silence. And all you can do is try to be patient. All you can try to do is wait and just do what you can to make it happen. And then, for those of us that are fortunate, it does happen. And then that small sound that we've wanted to hear turns into this just very loud thing that we couldn't be happier to have heard. And so that's kind of like our little bonus book because
Love that book.
yeah, it's really good. I know so many women who are struggling even now just to get pregnant. And I've told Melinda, when they do, I'm buying them this book because it's just a really great journey. It's such a quick way, of course, because it's in a book, but it's really nice and it's really well written, and it's perfect.
It really is. I don't know why they call these children's books, by the way.
Yeah, no.
Because they're definitely like they hit the parents in the emotional place so much. But that one, like, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you've, only tried for a short amount of time, or if you've gone through fertility treatments, if you go through adoption. It doesn't matter how you achieve parenthood or motherhood. It describes it completely, and it truly is like a storm. Like even that first heartbeat. I remember it's related. We went to a doctor's appointment and couldn't find the heartbeat yet because I think I was only like 10 weeks or 11, 12 weeks maybe. So they were using the little Doppler.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my husband said, "Man, it sounds windy in there." It's a little storm brewing. And your baby is being born because it was the blood flow through the placenta.
Whooshing sound.
The whooshing sound of the blood flow that he heard, and the doctor wasn't amused, but I thought it was funny. And then
Good
you
break
hear
of tension.
it was a good break of tension because he kept looking and looking and looking and looking, and But then we had a sonogram, and there's the thunder in the storm. It was awesome. But those are our books.
Our top 10 and a half.
Top 10 and a half. That's right. So we hope that if you like some of these books, if these are books that you read to your littles or maybe have been read to you, because at least
some of them are older.
Some of them are older.
Yeah.
The Giving Tree
is older.
Is definitely older.
The My Many Colored Days is older, and so is My Mommy Hung the Moon. Slightly older. Yep.
I don't know about the other ones, but I mean, if these books, if they speak to you, let us know. We would love to see in the comments below, like, what are the books that you love as parents or that your children love. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up for us. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you're notified the next time we upload a video. And social media, as always, Facebook and Instagram at Momestly Me. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we hope that you liked this. It's definitely a little bit different than the series, the segment that we were working on. So we hope that you enjoyed this and let us know if you would like to see more things like this. And yeah, I guess we'll see you next time. Okay. Bye.